Hello, today it is Sunday 28th of January 2024. I found this which I have cleaned up, and I think I did a service on carburetor, and it's very nice looking, and it's a Husqvarna F70, and I found this bar and chain. It's a 3/8, it's 20 inch, and it's Oregon D009 bar mount, and it fits those Husqvarna bar mounting on this chainsaw, and it has 72 links. It is 0.50, a thin one, so I have used this on what it was on a 65 or 77, Husqvarna 77. I took the bar from that 77 and put it on here. I test started it yesterday. It didn't start, it's been stored for a year. But I know it's very nice. I never found a bar for it, and I tested it yesterday. I need to give it droplets to help start, and eventually it's got to continuously run. I think it needs a little bar oil. Bar oil is here, fuel here, and I don't have too much can of fuel now, but I found fuel from another chainsaw and transformed for it to this one. So it has a full tank. This is choke on. Restart. This is very good, very cool looking old chainsaw. I have a couple of more of those, but this one I never cut with this. So I know it has spark, maybe need to be adjusted. Now it's just, I just test started it late yesterday, and let's see if it's restart now today without droplet help. Listen to that sound. And there is the stop switch. Very solid and very good, and it's restarted good as anything. I maybe need to make it higher on RPM. On high speed, but it looks very complete, very nice. No, but it has a little repair here. Doesn't matter too much. I have another bar cover, so and there is a difference in the screws there, so they have made some little bit awkward thing there. No, doesn't mean anything, but it had a crack on the starter, the bar cover, and they have been repairing this with a plate here and reinforcing here. That's good enough. When you change the bar on this, you take off all the handle and bar cover in one piece. So it's a little bit, and you need to lift it up to get it under again, a little bit hanky-panky to change the bar cover. I have some wood I need to chop up, so I want to go there and try this chainsaw. And I take a screwdriver with me in case I have to adjust the high RPM. It's a little bit dark on the video. Very nice chainsaw. And it worked so perfect. Just needed to get some help yesterday after being stored a long time. But that's no problem. I just gave it some droplets. So you need to be patient to get these HL carburetors going. Don't give up. Give them droplets until it's the air bubbles is freed and the flow is coming. And Make sure you have tightened the screws on the top of the HL carburetor. The screws need to be tightened good so the gasket doesn't leak. And when it's don't leak, it keeps the pressure. And of course the fuel lines need to be not have air leak. That's important. Let's go. It's very snowy here. Still have snow in Värmland in Sweden. Let's go to the old spruce, the dry spruce that I need to chop up and try to saw with this chainsaw. But first I give it a little bit of bar oil. A little dash. I'm not going to use this chainsaw very much. And it also have bucking spikes. Very cool. It's like the pistons and the cylinder on this chainsaws is excellent quality. And the whole organic mechanic here, the Swedish mechanic here is so solid, durable, and this is not a plastic fantastic chainsaw. This is alu magnesium casting and sovereign thing. Really good oil pump here. You see the oil pipes here going in there, oiling the chain. Cool patents. Let's go to the birch, no, the spruce, excuse me, it's a spruce. I already felled it with a partner 540 in December before Christmas. And now I want to chop it up. Well, I'm closing in on the tree. It's still laying here. The farmer, very heavy this chainsaw. The farmer didn't take the tree. He actually gave it to me. If I put it down, I could take it. I don't own the tree or the place here, but the farmer who owns this place, he was just happy for me to remove it. Because it was dry and it fell down the top. Half of the tree fell off in the wind. A windy day, probably with the snow on the tree too. So it snapped off. And the rest of the tree is a dry character. It's a dead tree. Very good for the stove. And here is the chainsaw. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop in the end here and see how that works out. Probably work out good. How effective, how useful can this old chainsaw be? Oh, excuse me. Oh, this is very nice chainsaw. Well, it starts to turn up on the idle. Could it already be empty? Is using that much fuel? Oh. The fuel filter is not above the... It's on the bottom, I guess. I was trying to find the idle screw, but it was a little difficult to enter with this screwdriver. It's a little bit too big. That's a mistake. Annoying. I don't want to adjust on the low screw. I want to adjust on the idle screw. But that was a little suspicious that it idled up now. I'm not sure why. Could be a little leak. But seems to have a cutting power. And try to do a little bit from this side and see if I successfully can finish one log buck. Oops, it's about 70 cc, so it turns up in the idle, but I check on that later on, investigate on that later on. But this screwdriver, I could not access the idle screw, but it's something else. It's maybe oxygen leaking. If you get some oxygen, so that's why it idle up. But that's a bagatelle, a small adjustment. And as you can see, there was some metal construction on the side there. Other than that, it's a fairly okay place to saw. And it's a little bit of snow here. Very nice tree. And I will continue with some of my other old chainsaws to make bucking on this tree. So, so stay tuned and see how I continue. I might go and get my tomorrow get my John Surratt's XG, which I think start to trouble after some minutes because of the coils get warm and it maybe some malfunction in the coils. But anyway, I think I will take that saw and see if it's become better now after being used just a couple of times during the last 2 years. But last time I used it, it started to be hanky-panky after some minutes of use. But it starts easy, and I think it has a fairly good chain, and it's very nice and good looking chainsaw. But if the coil is gone, it's a little bit difficult to repair, to find parts. But I investigated, and maybe there is some replacement parts could be found that is meant for other engines in similar dimension and have a similar pickup coil. It could happen. or if it's the main coil. I will find out of that and I will test it. It could have been settled and could have been okay now, but most likely it has the same problem. And I will of course take my Johnson's XF and do some continuous work and cutting on this and other chainsaws, because there is a lot of things to cut on here. I don't have any hurry. I just want to show different chainsaws and test different chainsaws for the channel and for myself, because it amuses me, this good old Swedish technology. Okay, bye bye. Nice cut, by the way. Bye bye. But before I leave this clip or this chainsaw, I want to investigate a little why it ran away on high idle. I noticed that the fuel line was a little bit stiff inside here. And could it be that the filter has lifted it itself? No, it has not. It is down position in the bottom of the tank, so it didn't lift itself up. There could of course be a leak in the fuel line, and in order to investigate that I need to unscrew on top of the tank, because there is a divided fuel line. There's one fuel line in the tank and one fuel line above the tank, and there is a screw approximately here where it's going through, so we need to loosen that and take the fuel line out to replace it. But I could see that the filter was in the bottom of the tank, so that's not the issue. But it could be the fuel line is sucking air, because there is a hole in the fuel line. I don't remember now if I changed the fuel line inside the tank when I rebuilt the carburetor. Anyway, I found a screwdriver now that will fit into the idle hole here, and might adjust it down a little and see what's happening. If it's going up on idle, as it did when I bucking that little log. Okay, I maybe want a little choke. Okay, doesn't want to restart at once. What could that be? think that's more better. I even got a spark on my finger here. I have no gloves, and it was leaking from that little mouse-eaten spark plug top here. So it gave me a shock. So be careful with that. I need to put some GB weld or something rubber over here to isolate this. You can see some of the metal pieces sticking out there. So when I was holding here, it went the spark into my finger. I got a little shock. Nice chainsaw. Very fascinating, good working technology. Well, I was able to get some airbrushing, even though the wire here or the tube is under the snow, so it's blocking the tube a little bit. But I was able to airbrush it a little, and that's a smart thing to do before you take it indoor and store it. Now it looks good and nice, and I really like the design of this, and I like the chainsaw, and I take it indoor and store it for the next mission, or what the name is, the next job it wants to do. I want it to do for me. There was not much life in that airbrush today. Okay, I think it was the safety, the fuse. I think the fuse went off. That's why it doesn't restart now, the compressor. Maybe some moisture on the compressor. It's standing outside on the plastic. But back to the chainsaw. Let's see if it restarts easy. Fantastic. First time I use this chainsaw, and it impressed me and worked very good. There was one time it idled up. I'm not sure why that happens, but the most things you can find out of. And anyway, I adjusted it down now. Idle perfect. And if not so much snow and things, and I only had this chainsaw, I could test it for an hour or 2 or 3 on that tree I have there, the spruce. But I have other chainsaws to test, so I don't use it for so long term. But it seems okay. It's fairly easy to fix and maintenance. And it has a classic HL carburetor, not difficult to overhaul, give service, change the gaskets for an affordable price, but always make sure to tighten the top screws very good, very hard, to avoid leak. Okay, bye bye.